What if we told you that one of the most powerful SaaS ecosystems in the world was built quietly, without venture capital, and entirely on product strength? This is the Zoho way. In this episode of Capital Compass, we are diving deep into the product strategy behind Zoho's billion-dollar empire and what the founders can learn from it. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to this episode of Capital Compass, wherein we are exploring the product strategy behind Zoho, a global SaaS giant that scaled to 100 million plus users without ever raising VC money. Learn how Zoho built an integrated product ecosystem, fostered a long-term R&D culture, and achieved profitability with a quiet but powerful product-led growth engine. The Zoho case study, the Bootstrapped giant that beat Silicon Valley at its own game. In a world that is dominated by venture capital and unicorn valuations, Zoho took the road less traveled. No external investors, no glitzy fundraising rounds, yet it quietly built a global SaaS empire from mid-year. How did it do that? Zoho was founded in 1996 by Sridhar Vembu and Tony Thomas. From the beginning, they chose to bootstrap not out of necessity, but as a philosophy. Sridhar believed that building a profitable business from day one gives you freedom. Freedom to focus on product, people, and principles, and not investor expectations. A few key points in the Zoho's journey are that it has not raised VC money ever. It has been profitable since early 2000s, and it took years to get the product market fit right, but they did have time. And it avoided the vanity metrics and the hyper-growth at all costs. Let's try and understand the product ecosystem strategy of Zoho. Today, Zoho offers 50 plus apps across sales, marketing, finance, HR, and IT. Instead of betting on one hero product, Zoho went horizontal. Zoho CRM became the flagship, but Zoho Books, Zoho Projects, Zoho Recruit, and many others have created a very sticky ecosystem. Strong internal culture of building everything in-house, even its own cloud and database stack. And this full-stack approach has made switching costs extremely high and has given Zoho deep customer loyalty. So the key differentiator for Zoho's product-led strategy is that Zoho isn't just a bundle of tools. It's a deeply integrated platform. Its product flywheel is that each new product adds more value to the overall suite of products. Users get logged in through workflow integrations. Cross-sell becomes natural and not forced. So this deeply integrated platform is Zoho's competitive moat. It has a unified backend, it has common login, data synchronization, and shared UI UX. So when we are talking about the product-led growth, let's also talk about the engineering-first culture and the long-term product thinking at Zoho. Zoho invests heavily in R&D over marketing. They reportedly spend more than 50% of expenses on engineering. Because they do not rely on VC funding, they can focus on long-term product market fit and not quarterly growth targets. Zoho does minimal advertising. Instead, it relies on word of mouth and self-serve onboarding. It also relies on the free to paid upgrade path, and it's a classic product-led growth motion, made possible because the product works well from day one. It's a classic example wherein when your product solves a problem deeply, the growth follows. The Zoho story also makes us rethink as to how the great companies can be built. In 2004, Zoho shifted major part of its operations from Silicon Valley to rural India, that is, rural Tamil Nadu. This wasn't just about cost, it was a statement that talent is global, cost-effective scale is possible outside major tech hubs, and rural employment can drive tech innovation. The move inspired a generation of Indian SaaS founders to think globally but build locally. So now that you understand the product-led growth story of Zoho, let's also try and understand the revenue story at Zoho. Zoho crossed $1 billion in revenue in 2022, still with no outside capital. It has more than 100 million users worldwide, it has more than 15,000 plus employees, and majority of the growth comes from word of mouth and product-led marketing. This kind of scale, built quietly, is very rare in tech. So what are the key takeaways for the founders? First and foremost, that venture capital is a tool, not a necessity. A strong product ecosystem compounds over time. Going slow lets you go far if you build with purpose. And geography isn't a destiny. You can build a global company from anywhere. In closing, it can be said that Zoho proves that there is more than one way to build a billion-dollar company. If you're a founder thinking about whether to raise capital or to bootstrap, take inspiration from this story. That's all that we have for you in this episode of Capital Compass. Do stay tuned in for more. And if you're a founder who's raising capital, do submit your pitch deck at pallavisettle.com/submitpitchdeck for feedback and review. That's all that we have for you at the moment. Do stay tuned in for our next case study.